Hey, you guys, and welcome. All right, this time we're going to be doing more masculine projects just in time for Father's Day if you want to get something in there real quick. This gives you some ideas, but pretty in your home no matter what. But these are going to be a little bit more on the masculine side, I would say, probably because of the colors and the mood to them. My first find, I got this serving tray from Dollar General, and it said $5 on the sticker, but I think I found it on one of those home sales, so probably it was at least 25% off, maybe 50% off. I am going to do 2 coats of my chalk paint, Dixie Belle, in Spanish moss. Now, I did tape off around the edges, and I did sand those edges too. They were a little rough, but I did tape off with masking tape around the edges because I want to leave the bottom, the underneath side, and the edges that raw looking wood. So I just wanted to do the top of it, and I did that 2 good coats and let it dry, and then I'm going to come in and seal it with my big top. Okay, so that is pretty color there. So just 1 good coat of your big top, and then I'm pulling out my OD transfer booklet, and this is the Whispering Willow. I have been eyeing this fox ever since I got this transfer and just wasn't sure what to use him on. But now this is the perfect project, I think. So I love the coloring on this little fox, and he's got a tinge of green in him as well towards his feet, so he matches perfectly with the Spanish moss. So I'm just going to cut them out. Now, if y'all have not used IOD transfers before, they are great. They have this great grid line, so when you're trying to line things up, and I'm just doing it visually, I didn't actually measure. You can certainly measure to get it perfect, but they have this grid line to help you lay down exactly where you want your transfer to go. So since this is a larger piece, I just kind of folded back the top part, put that down where I wanted it to go for stability, and then you can see me here, I'm removing the rest of my backing. Just going to use your transfer tool that either came with your set, or I have several on hand from other sets. I just leave them in one of my drawers and pull them out. Use your transfer tool to lay it down, and then slowly peel it up, and you can lay it back down if you need to, if any parts did not fully transfer, and then flip that top over and burnish that into your project. Now, I don't know if you can see here, but off to the right of his one little foot, I did get some of that paint peeled off. Now, I have done projects and not sealed it before I put my transfer down and done fine. Some projects I've sealed it first and still pulled off the paint, but that was an easy touch up with a little artist brush and some more paint. And I just kind of put it in there heavy to make that blend. Now I'm going to go in and seal everything with my Best Dang Wax from Dixie Belle, and that is in white. And you can see me here, I am doing a very heavy, liberal coat. The Spanish moss is really pretty, but I just want to tone all of this down some. So I'm putting a heavy coat on, and then I'm coming back with just a paper towel. You can do a microfiber cloth. And then I'm just going to wipe back and take off as much as I want to take off and leave what I want to leave. And then I'm just going to simply peel off that masking tape from around the edges. And then look how pretty. Now, if it didn't have handles on it, you can certainly use some leather straps for handles. If you needed to make handles, you could cut up an old belt. That's just some suggestions. But I think the leather straps really make it more of a masculine to me. And how pretty would that be on a side table or a coffee table with the remotes or what have you. Second project, moving on here. I had this frame in my stash and just happened to pull it out and thought it had a leathery look to it. The color was perfect because it was kind of this bluish green. Now, if you didn't have this color, you could certainly paint your frame, but between the texture and the color, I didn't have to do anything to the frame, but put down a good thick coat of my Best Dang Wax in the color brown. Now I'm putting this down all over first. I want it to sit. I want it to be thick on there. Then I'm just going to come back and wipe away what I don't want. Now just remember, if you take off too much, you can certainly lay more down. So don't be afraid to put it on there heavy, wipe off whatever, and then if you're not satisfied, just put some more down. But to me, it ended up with a leathery look to it. It did not have a glass in this frame, but I didn't want to use the glass anyhow. But I don't want to get my project down to that frame part, so I had to come in with an excess piece of cardboard I had, kind of map out a little frame to fit in there. And then I am going to decoupage onto that piece. And yes, this is recycled Christmas paper I got last year. But I want that little stag on there. So, and I want some of the Christmas tree too. So that's what I'm doing, is sitting here trying to figure out exactly where I want to cut him. So I'm just going to trace him, cut that out. I did cut it a little bit larger just in case. Remember, if you have excess, that's a lot better than being short. So, since I'm putting on cardboard, I am going to use my Elmer's glue stick. Now, that's important because a liquid decoupage medium could make your cardboard piece swell, or it could make it warp. So I'm just using Elmer's glue stick. Those work perfect. And I'm just going to lay it down with my hand, and I'm laying it down in strips. And then I do come back in the end and use my brayer just to make sure that my project is laying down on my cardboard and I don't have any air bubbles, just to get all that out. And then when it completely dries, I'm going to come around with my sanding block, my little finger sander again, and take off the edges. And y'all, that's so satisfying, because when you go in a downward motion, and that's important. And you see here I'm sealing my project also with the glue stick. But go in a downward motion when you're using to get excess paper off of your edges, and it'll take it off in nice strips and it won't leave it jagged. If you brush back and forth, it could tear up your paper that's there. So it's important that you always want to go downward. And then you can see me, I'm just going to pull some nice good strips off of here. But once I got this finished, I'm just going to insert that back in. If you wanted to use the glass, that would be fine, but I chose not to. And that project is finished. Last project. These are wall shelves, and it comes in a 2-pack from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to stain each one, and I stained front and back sides with my gel stain in the color oak. Now I am going to use some more decoupage paper, and this paper comes from Decoupage Central. Look how pretty that is. So I decided to use one of those that's got more of that sepia tone to it, and then just another one, but these barns are gorgeous. I did cut these out. I normally use the paintbrush with water, but I'm cutting them out because I don't want to tear them and tear into another project. But then I'm not going to use the water method. I'm just going to come around and make this look more old, antiqued. So I'm going to come around my fingers and just tear around the edges. And I am going to use, this time I am going to use my DIY liquid patina. And I'm just going to brush that back on the back of the projects, lay those down, and then lay a good coat of that liquid patina on top of your decoupage paper as well. Not necessary to seal the whole project because it's a gel stain. It's not chalk paint. Anytime you're working with chalk paint, seal your project. Gel stain, it's just like a regular stain. There's no need to seal it, so I did not go around the whole project to seal it. Then I'm going to use some hemp cord. That's what that black cord is sitting off to the side. To me, that gave off a little bit more masculine vibes than definitely those strings that come in with those packs. But you can always recycle those for something other else. And then I'm going to take some, I had some beads in my stash that was square. You can see them there. I think those from Dollar Tree. They might have come off another piece from Dollar Tree, but I'm pretty sure those did come from Dollar Tree. And I ended up putting 7 on each one. Now, the board that's going to be hanging from the bottom, I'm going to put the beads on the bottom. So I'm just going to string them to my hemp cord, and I'm simply tying that. There's holes on each 4 corners, so I'm just tying that to the bottom too. And then the piece that's at top, you can see here, I laid those at the top of the piece, because your section in the middle, that's going to be how you're going to combine these two together and tie these two together. And again, I'm just using the hemp cord, going to measure it out so they hang as evenly as you possibly can get them. You can move that distance however much you want to, and then just tie some good knots. You could always hot glue it too, just for added protection, but tie some good knots on the back. And then I trimmed everything up. And then this piece is good to go as well. I did come back with some hemp cord and just kind of tied it around that top row there where those beads are at. I just kind of tied it around there, and that's my hanger. You could hot glue it to the back if you wanted to, but I thought it would be nice not to mess up the back and just tie a piece of the hemp cord around the top. But how easy was this? And this is utilizing some stuff I had on hand and making stuff a little more masculine. Like I say, Father's Day's coming up, so these would be some great last-minute gift ideas. I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. Let me know, please, which one is your favorite. I'm partial to the Fox, just because, like I said, ever since I got that transfer pack, I've been eyeing him, so I'm kind of partial to him. But I love these Barnes as well. I like all of them, really. Just let me know which one's your favorite. And until next time, you guys, I hope you have a blessed week. Thank you so much for watching. Give me some likes if you haven't subscribed already. I would so much appreciate you smashing that subscribe button for me. Thank you.